Hello, hello, hello. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Hello, tribers. Welcome to the podcast where we magnify the process and impact of the youth in the world using their own stories. I am the homegirl, also known as Liz Awino, and thank you for joining me, or rather us as the community, for another episode in another season. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you found us, however it is you found us. I'm glad you're here. And if you're a returning member or a returning tribe member, what's up? How are you doing? Happy New Year, guys. Yeah, hell yeah. Happy New Year. Like literally, happy Bumbleclot New Year. I need to get rid of that name or that word from my vocabulary. But happy New Year, man. I am so happy to actually have the privilege of doing an episode after a new year. This is the new season, the new episode, new year, new me, new consistency, new everything. Bam! There we go. But yeah, how are you guys? How is everything going? How's your year looking like? What are the goals that you set this year that are already looking wishy-washy? And just let me know, how was your holiday? Let me know how you felt through the holiday. I was exhausted. I could not. I was so ready to come back home. Like, mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I think the older you get, the more you realize that like holidays with like family, some like I'm not saying it's work, but it feels like there's also a level of energy you have to invest in that for you to be like a sane person. Because I think by default I'm quite chilled. So I'm used to one, being alone, and two, I'm quite chilled. So like I require a level of downtime for me to have the energy that I need to people. And when I consistently don't have that downtime, I just don't have the energy to people. And that becomes a little bit of a sticky situation. I'm not going to lie. But I had a lovely December. I had a lovely, like when I say lovely, I mean lovely. Lovely December, guys. Am I going to repeat it? Hell yeah. Had a ball. But yeah, I'm so glad to be back. I'm pretty sure everyone is waiting for me to start debunking what I did in December. Let's not do that. Let's just know I had a good time. I had a good time. Had a good time. But yeah, the basis of this episode and this season is to basically just talk about 2025, the things that happened in 2025, and how we want to choose to make better decisions and be better in 2026. Because I think Q1, for me personally, I feel like Q1 is more so like setting your systems up, getting, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, understanding the things that are working, the things that are not working, taking off the pressure of doing everything in January, and rather just saying Q1 is what I'm going to focus on, building a system that will run for the rest of the year. So for me, I feel like um where I'm at right now is I have a lot of things that I really need to do. And I have literally like, okay, less than 365, but it was 365 days to kind of see if that's going to work. And like my head is hot. I have been thinking, guys, and my friend keeps on saying, this is our year, this is our year. And I think, you know what, everybody needs a Nyasha in their life, because Nyasha would literally send me a voice note every single time. And she's like, girl, this is our year. I've been telling everybody this is our year. And hell yeah. You know what? Clock that. I know there's a lot of things that happened last year, and I think that's the essence of us just talking about it in this particular season. What happened? How does that affect you? How did it directly affect you or indirectly affect you? What are the underlying things that happened in your life? Like, basically, I feel like in life, right? It's like a movie. There's the main characters, there's the other characters, and then there's just the crew. Like there's just a lot of pieces that come together to make a movie. But we are usually so focused on what we see, the main characters. And in a movie, you find that there's people that walk on the street, there's people that just bump into someone, and that was their only role. So like basically understanding that so many things happen within your control and outside of your control, and being able to recognize how all of these things come to play so you can set yourself up for a better year is what we're trying to do. So I'm quite excited about that, because I think 2020, I say 2025 was such a random year. Like it really was. It really was. It was such a random thing. Like now when I think about it, I feel like, what was that? Like, why was I there? Like, what was I doing? You know? But yeah, man, I am quite excited about it, about this new season, and I'm quite excited about 2026 because I think I refuse to fail. Like I just simply refuse to fail. If you're new here, the episode usually has a flow where I start with the introduction and just talking about how I am and how I feel and all of that stuff. Did I even answer how I am? I think one of the things I've noticed recently is that when someone asks you, how are you? We're so quick to say, I'm good, thanks yourself. But like, how often are you good things? And how often do you care about how the other person is? You know, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I just mean that there's certain things that mean something, but we have made them not mean something because we don't have an emphasis towards the words that we say. We are not intentional. So when I ask you guys, how are you? I always say this. I actually am genuinely asking, how are you? Like, how do you feel? Like, where is your headspace at? You know, I heard someone in the podcast asking another person, how's your heart? Like, genuinely, how's your heart and soul? How does it feel? You know, because I think being able to like be honest about how you feel is like a starting point. So yeah, how am I? I am crashing out, but I don't want to crash out. Not I don't want to, but I have things to do, you know. So it's just I'm crashing out, but I have things to do. Not but and I have things to do. So that's exactly how I am. The next segment is the book tribe. To be quite honest, I'm not gonna lie and say I've been reading books because I've not. I have been reading a lot of articles that are related to research and climate change, climate resilience, gender mainstreaming, the education systems in Kenya and how to integrate a lot of things all together. So things I read, to be quite honest, are not that fun, but I wrote an article about the fear of success, which is this episode. And I would like for you guys to check that out because I wrote it yesterday on my walk. Like I just thought of it. And normally when I think of like writing, like I think of words and they start to flow in my head, I'm usually just like, yep, let's write. So I wrote on my work, like while I was doing my work, and it was such a lovely thing. So yeah, I'd want you guys to check out the article. By the time you guys listen to this, it will be posted. So show me some love, whatever it is I decide to post it. Probably LinkedIn. That's where I usually post most of my stuff. I would want to find out what books you guys are reading. I started reading Dream Count and I left it halfway. I don't know. I feel like it's such a different way of Chimamanda's writing that I had low-key started struggling. And then the moment I put it down, I've just not picked it up again. So maybe soon almost choked. Maybe soon from next week, no, next month, after next month, or maybe next month, I'll see if I can pick it back up. But yeah, the episode topic, obviously by now you know, is the fear of success. Lol. Yeah, that's the episode topic. This is a very reflective, vulnerable, and open conversation with my younger and future self. So I hope it feels like a warm hug to you and it literally gives you permission to live. And like, I mean, and live, like, live. Like, you know, when people say live your life, I feel like we just say it. Like, I mean, live, like use your free will properly, use the capacities that you have properly. That's what I mean when I tell people to live your life. So the first segment will be the truth I couldn't avoid. The question is, what truth about my life did 2025 force me to face? And did I actually face it or did I find ways to avoid it? I am an avoidant. I have two ways of approaching things, right? For my insecurities, I am literally one of those people that would throw myself inside the fire and then get rid of it. So it just depends. So when it comes to my insecurities, like let's say I'm not a fan of telling people my insecurities because why would you do that to yourself? But for my insecurities, I think that I would literally put myself in that situation or do that thing. Or actually, this is fine because I've worked on it, so I wouldn't feel bad if someone uses that against me. But I have body dysmorphia, or I used to have extreme body dysmorphia, where I used to go to the gym because I wanted to look a certain way. And one day I woke up in the morning and I was like, this is not sustainable. You will not be able to be in the gym all year round, and you cannot sustain this lifestyle, and you know it. So the least you could do is actually stop going to the gym, lose all the gains, and get used to your body. And I know obviously it sounds harsh when you tell yourself, but the truth of the matter is it's true. Me doing that gave me permission to just be able to be comfortable with my body and just be like, ah, you know what? This is how I am. I'm a small babe. I'm a petite babe. I may not like who I am, like entirely, but I'm comfortable with the fact that I know this is who I am naturally. Like I don't have to do ABCD. I don't have to do all of that stuff. This is me. Like this is the body God, when God was giving people things, this is the body that he saw was fit for me. So like why must I kill myself? It's only one body that I have. So love it down. Yeah. So based on the question, one of the things I think I avoided for majority of last year was confronting the fact that one, the podcast exists and the podcast will always exist. And I need to learn to be comfortable with the fact that it's a thing. And two, I need to be very comfortable with success. Right. And I say comfortable with success because I co-authored two research papers and I don't talk about them. I don't like I just people are always like, oh, that's such a big deal. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I don't own it. So I think one of the things that the truth is that I'm a big person and I mean something. But then the lie, or rather the thing that I always want to believe or want to downplay is that I'm insignificant. Like I'm just trying to do my best. But no, actually. I'm doing a big one. So I think it's more so ownership, I'd say. That is the truth that I had to face for majority of last year. And also another truth I had to face last year was I don't fancy a lot of things that people fancy. And I think sometimes I put myself in situations where I shouldn't even be in. And not even in a drama type of way, but it's just if I don't like it, why am I doing it? Or if it doesn't feel right, why am I doing it? And I think it saves everybody so much time if you're a little bit more honest about things that you like and things that you don't like, and then you just, charge it and you keep it moving. Because I think you'll find your crowd, you'll find the people that you're supposed to be with, and you'll find um the company you're meant to call your friends and call your family. But because of so much pressure in life, I feel like we tend to conform a lot more than we should, and I don't think that's right. And that's why I always tell people the main reason why I started the podcast was that I always felt like the things that I wanted to do, not a lot of people took them or carried them the way I wanted it. So I want to create a society or a community where people can say, oh, these guys are doing this, I could rock with that, or I could get behind that. And the it that we try and do, right, is basically if you like reading, read. If you like having a ball, have a ball. Because I always tell people I'm very multifaceted. Like, I love house music. I used to be a DJ. I love research. I used to code. I what else? I love talking to people and finding out more about people. I also like solitude. I like being alone. And I love staying at home and being a couch potato and literally doing nothing for the whole day. I love watching vlogs. I don't like crime. I don't like blood. Like there's so many things I like and I don't like that sometimes feel very conflicting based off of who I am as a person. And being able to like package that so that people can consume it in a certain way becomes a lot more complex because human beings are inherently complex. So I think the ownership of that. Actually, that's what I think that's another truth, that I'm multifaceted and I should not try to box myself at any given point. Because one of the things I asked my mentors was like, when it comes to presenting myself in the public space, because I'm trying to build visibility, what should I do? Like, how should I present myself? He's like, why would you want to do that to yourself when you're so much more? And I was like, damn, like, okay. Because he said, no one like there are people that talk about tech, there are people that talk about human rights, there are people that talk about all of these other things. And when they are called to be moderators, they are called for that specific topic. They are not called because maybe they are so good at something. I think the world is starting to evolve to a point where people are trying to look for a lot more of what you can actually do as a person and what you contribute holistically rather than like topically. I don't know if that's a word. So like when we talk of personality, right? And you say, "Oh, I only like art. I don't like politics. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like that." Fair and fine. You'll meet people that are like that. But I think the world is a lot more nuanced for you to have a one size fits all way of thinking. And I think that's why I'm such a big advocate of life skills education, because I feel like one thing formal education does to you is it trains you to think in a certain pattern. And because of that, you limit yourself from the things you or cannot do subconsciously. So when someone says something, and even me asking my mentor that question was simply because I have not been trained to live a multifaceted life. I have been trained to live a very singular life. You go to school, you finish school, you get good grades, you try and get a useless job, or you try and get a bare minimum job, you be okay with it, you work 3 more jobs, you get a good man, or you try to get a good man, or you fix yourself to be presentable to a good man, quote unquote good man. And then you get married, and then you pop babies, and then you're satisfied, and then life is good. And then you start your retirement plan, and then you retire. That is exactly what we are trained to believe. That there's steps to life and there's stages to life. And if you're not hitting those stages, people think of you like a goat. Like you look like a cow on top of a bed. I think when they post carousels of this video, I'll tell them to add or cue in that picture so that you guys get like a visual imagery of what I'm saying. Like I think I want one of the things I want for this year is that I want to create a space and I want to have conversations where people know that it's okay, one, to dream big. Two, the sky is actually not the limit. You can go further. Your limit is you get to decide. It can be lower than the sky. It can be higher than the sky. Wherever it is that you think the sky is, you can break the sky. I mean it very like, don't start giving me science. I don't want science. I'm not a scientist. And two, I want people to be able to own who they are. Like, be that girl or be that guy. Like, be that babe. Like, be whoever it is you think you want to be in real time, and also be okay with the change that comes with that. Because I think my 20s are so blah, blah. Like every day I'm changing. Every day there's something new I like. Every day there's something new I don't like. Every day there's there's something, guys. There's always something. Jesus. But yeah. This episode is supposed to be short, ne? Let's move. Let's be going. Okay, segment 2 is obligation versus alignment. Actually, before I move to that, I have a question to you guys as listeners. And that is, what does this year look like if you choose to live in your truth? Not someone else's truth, not your parents' truth. And what does it look like if you strive to understand your truth without anybody's inner voice, without anybody's contribution, without calling your friends first before you make a decision, without ruminating on one thing for so long until you can't make a decision anymore? What does your truth look like? And what does this year look like if you choose, and actually you and I choose to live in truth? Leave that on the comment section. My theme for this year is alignment. And therefore, as much as I can, I have to like balance everything with alignment, which means that my body, my spirit, my soul have to consistently be aligned with something. And I'm saying that because there's a lot of things that you end up doing that your nervous system is telling you that you're not supposed to be there, you're not supposed to be doing that, but we ignore that. And I'm not saying there's a difference between danger and there's a difference between doing something for the first time that you know you're supposed to be doing it, but you're still scared. So there's danger and there's being scared. A lot of us confuse being scared with danger. And I say that because there's sometimes you'll find someone doesn't do something and they're like, oh, I just didn't feel at peace. Peace is such like, leave that thing in 2025. Leave that, oh, it didn't bring me peace. I prayed to God and he gave me peace about it. Sometimes the peace you're talking about is the enemy that convinced you that that is peace. Sometimes peace is being uncomfortable. Sometimes peace is taking the step. Sometimes peace is doing it scared. Sometimes peace is doing it fearful. Sometimes peace is doing it when you don't want to do it. Sometimes peace is sitting in the discomfort. That is peace. Peace is not always when everything is right. Peace does not always come up when everything is right. when you're consistently comfortable. In any case, if you're comfortable in your 20s, you're doing the wrong thing. That's what I believe in. Like, you can't, guys. You cannot be. It's a facade. This is not the time for you to be comfortable. And I say that because even if you make a lot of bag, I promise you, you're not supposed to be comfortable. Because one of the things I learned, and I posted about it the other day, and I'm like, work-life balance, the person that is trying to wing it is a lie. Like, it's not real. Because literally, I am tired a lot of the times. I do literally 3 things at the same time. There's a research project I'm working on climate resilience. There's another research work that I'm trying to do now that is for my master's and stuff. So there's a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and a lot of application because I need to understand what exactly I'm trying to do and what exactly how, like, I need to think of the end goal and then I bring it back to the basics. So there's a lot of that. And then now there's the podcast where I have a team. I was not supposed to say that, but yeah, I have a team. We'll talk about it later. I have a team now and I have to like lead. Like, you know, when you when people say, oh yeah, like I have a team. You think it's so cool. Like, yeah, they have a team. No, you're meant to lead people, guys. Where did I keep showing up this year? Out of obligation instead of alignment. And what did that slowly cost me? Peace of mind. And that's very diabolical because I just said peace is not something that we should be chasing. But there's something precious about having peace of mind. And I say peace of mind in that you're not running mad. I was running mad for a huge part of 2025. And I think even the people that were around me, I don't think they knew I was running mad. And I say that because my job was quite hectic. I'm not going to lie, because I live really far. So I was consistently tired. And I knew I was consistently tired when I left the job. And wow, I felt like some weight was lifted off my shoulder because genuinely, ne, that was, yeah, traveling 2 hours to work. 2 hours, actually 2 hours, 30 minutes sometimes to work. That is literally 4 hours of your day gone. Ish. Now, wow. To our listeners, this is a question for you. I told you this episode is going to be very reflective. What was the biggest challenge you faced during last year? And looking back, how do you plan to develop in that area so you're not stuck or in the quicksand of disaster? Also, what habits do you have that need to be out and in this year? Let me know. I actually want to know the ins and outs of for you guys this year. Like, let me know what is in, what is out. For me, what is definitely so in is taking my wellness a lot more serious, like my walking and what I eat and just wellness in gen. I want to be that girl, and you cannot be that girl if you're not doing that girl things. So yeah, I want to take my wellness a lot more serious because I realized my thoughts, my speaking, my ability to just be a human being is heavily like dependent on my wellness. Also, one of the things I want to take seriously is going to church and Bible reading and stuff. Like, my friends and I are thinking of doing Hallelujah Challenge. And I can't wait for that because I need it. I need to like bring back my Bible reading culture and praying. I've been going to church. And have you ever gone to church and you cannot pray properly? Like, I don't mean I can't pray, but like I always tell people one thing I know, like I enjoy doing and I really love doing is praying, like especially praying for people. Like, I could pray. Put for me a chant, a Nigerian chant. And yes, put Nathaniel Bassi, like put anybody, and I'll be there. Just it's like you're doing words of affirmation with God, and you're just God, you're good, God, you're kind, King of Kings, Lord, like everything was flowing. I went to church first time this year. I was like, God, waiting, waiting, do this, cause nah, man. That's not what we're doing. That is not how we are choosing to move this year. I must go back to knowing how to pray properly. We must do it. But yeah, the next segment before we end is what I didn't let myself grieve. It takes me such a long time to actually like acknowledge and process my emotions, and I suffer in real time, and just like it's like delayed realization of the fact that I'm going through stuff. I think what that has done for me is that I carry so much trauma in my body where I could be more at ease if I was able to cry the way other people would just cry, or like just speak about things the way other people speak. But then because that's not something I'm used to, I'm trying, but it's not something that I'm used to. It makes it a lot, like, it makes living a free life a lot more, I don't want to say difficult, but a lot challenging. And sometimes I don't know the source of what I feel. I don't know how I got to where I feel. I just feel off, but I don't know why I feel off. But that's simply because you were supposed to cry last week. You did not cry. So now we are paying the price. And I feel like my body is also tired of me. Like, I think sometimes it's just like, girl, please take me out completely. But yeah, I do envy people that can cry. Like, crying, I envy it. People that can cry, people that can talk articulately about their feelings, especially without filtering them. Wow. And I feel like it's such a superpower. And we talked about it in Atida's episode. You guys should like check out for that. Should be out in the next 2 weeks. Where we're so trying to train ourselves to be nonchalant. And the people that are nonchalant don't want to be nonchalant. They want to be chalant like mad. But then because we are like, I don't know, man. I think it's just one of those things where if you don't have it, you want it. Not so. What did I have to give in 2025 that I didn't really give myself permission to mourn? That I don't like my life. And that sounds so light, but it's so deep. And or maybe it's deep. Yeah. I said it lightly, but it's so deep. I don't know. English banner. I think enjoying your life is such a like these enjoying your life and these liking your life. I enjoy my company. I enjoy like some of the things that I do. Like there's a lot of things that I enjoy about my life. I enjoy company with my friends. I enjoy that stuff. But in general, I don't like my life because I think in my mind, I'm like, this is not where I want it to be. I wanted to be somewhere else, and that's not here. And I think for a huge part of 2025, it's like I was forcing myself to be somewhere that I'm not, to act like someone that I'm not. I was just uncomfortable with the fact that this is not what I want for myself, or this is not where I want to be. And that was quite hard. And I think it still is because now I'm still like, I don't know how to say it, but I'm still in that space where I don't necessarily like my life and I don't want to get into it, but I know I don't like my life. There's certain things that I would like to do that I cannot do them simply because I don't have the money to do that. And that makes it a lot harder to like my life. You know, like, I don't know. I just feel like if I was able to take care of certain things, I'd genuinely like my life. But right now I don't. Maybe I will grow to like it if I accept that this is where I'm at and it's okay to be where I'm at and it's a process and all of that stuff that people lie to themselves so that they can believe it. I will try and do that because I think it's also quite important to be content with where you are. So yeah, man, I don't know. Please don't give me advice also. Please. Like resist it. Resist it. Like, because I know you're going to be logical about it. Like, oh, like be content, da 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 da. Like, no, I'm not content. Well, I am to a certain extent, but I'm not. Like, I'm grateful for the life that I have. I'm not content with the life that I have. Maybe because I feel like I could do so much more, or I should be doing so much more that I'm not doing. But also sometimes I'm like, what is there so much more? Like, what more? Like, what more? I don't know, man. That's why I said being in your 20s are just the ghetto business. Anyway, um, segment 4 is choosing self-trust for 2026. Like I said, I have a fear of success, and you should read the article because it will make it a lot clearer for you to know the context. Because I'm leaving out the article. I don't want to talk about it, so you can read it. I hope you're getting my marketing strategy. But yeah, I don't mind failure. Like, I really don't. It's one of those things, like I've said it all the time. I was not a smart kid. I was so used to failing. Like, I was in the class where dumb people are usually put in school. So like it was okay for me that people knew that I'm not so smart. Not that it's a fun thing to be known that you're not smart, but I grew up knowing I'm not all that. But all of a sudden, I must be okay with success. What success? Where is my proven record of success? Hello, get down. So yeah, man. For me, failure is a lot more comfortable. I wouldn't say comfortable, but for lack of a better word, comfortable for me than success. Not that failure is not something that affects me directly, but it's something that even if it happens, I'm not shocked. When I do something and I'm successful, I am shocked. Like it is of surprise to me and everybody that I did this. I think for people it's not a surprise because the way people see me and the way I see myself, ooh, girl, two different things. But I think I need to sit with the successes I've actually had. And I think part of me not talking about the publications I have is also just the fact that maybe I'm not comfortable with the success of doing that. So maybe I just don't talk about it. I clocked it. I don't like talking about things like this because then you have revelations in between the podcasts. But yeah, I'm accustomed to failure. I don't fret. Like I'm not like, oh my god, I failed. Nah, it's like, oh, I failed. Oh, cool. Like, damn. Like I'll be sad about it, but I will not be like, me failed. Oh my god. Like the world is not ending. I failed. Like, like damn, I failed. But whew, okay, cool. Like let's be going. Yeah. But successful, like feels like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, or even worse, Mount Everest. Jesus. So I need to learn how to trust myself a little bit more and just do things when I need to get them done and not sit so long with it that I don't take it seriously. Because also the thing with me is because I'm so used to like not used to, but I'm accustomed to failure. It doesn't hurt me when I miss opportunities, and that should hurt me. Right? It should hurt me that I should be in a certain room or I'm qualified to be in a certain room that I did not put myself out for that. So I think if I am to be bold and if I'm to go for things that I've not done before, I need to be comfortable with success. Because until I accept that I'm going to be successful and the things that I know and the things that I should be doing and the things that I could be doing will lead me to success, there's no way I'm gonna go because I'm always just gonna be like, people are gonna be like, oh, you're the deal, like you're this, you're that, and I'm just that, like, I'm like, yeah, you know what, real, like real type shit. How my sister would say it, type shit. But then at the end of the day, when I go back home, I'll start binge watch. I will binge watch and do the things that I'm comfortable with because I'm comfortable with failure. Like even when people say certain things to me or do certain things to me and they expect me to feel a certain way. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, you don't know me. Like, I'm very okay. I don't think it's not a good thing. And I should not be talking about it the way I'm talking about it. But alas, then this is whomst I am and where I am now. Doesn't mean I'm always gonna be like that. Clock it. But it means that this is where I am. And the first step to anything is being able to recognize. Yeah, I believe in the fact that God, like God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, once you acknowledge and you know that this is something that you need to change, God creates room for you to do it slowly without forcing things down your throat. And that's one of the things I like about this podcast is I always speak like this, but I'm not speaking like this so you can ever change your life if you don't want to change. If this is how you want to live your life, that's also how you go live your life. So yeah. Now, I did a test from a coach on TikTok. I will put the link on the description so everybody can do it. And turns out, well, newsflash, I'm a perfectionist. Ta-da! To be fair, that's not shocking. Like a lot of people that have worked with me know that I am seriously a perfectionist. Don't know if I can help it. Ugh, I don't know, man. It's a superpower and some like a liability at the same time. I think I talked about it on the article. Read the bloody article. I talked about it on the article, but I want to get better at just doing things. Do it when you're scared. Do it like just do it. Nike. Anyway, guys, last segment updates of the podcast and how we, emphasis on the we. Yes, we. We plan to move in 2026. Okay, I had mentioned it before. One, I have a team. I think that was one of my biggest prayer points for last year. if you listen to a particular episode, I mentioned how I really wanted a social media manager, and now I got like a full team, and they're so amazing and they're so cool. Like me, we are cool. But yeah, I have a social media manager now. I have an admin. I have a scriptwriter. I have and there's a name I found for him that is so outreach manager. And then there's a producer, host, and founder, which is me. So all of them have different roles and all of them do different things. I don't know if I want to say their names. I don't know if they want to be known that they work for me. I'll actually have to ask them. But if they're okay with it, you'll just be hearing names that this person said this or this person said this in the conversation or in the podcast. So yeah, I have that and I'm so glad and I'm so happy about it. God bless. Because I always say that making people agree to work for you, especially when you don't pay them, is not an easy thing. This is like a new venture and stuff like that. And to be quite honest, it's not like it makes like because you guys Naso, so you choose when to listen to it. I don't like we don't our numbers are not going up, but also at the same time I wouldn't blame you because I'm not consistent. But now that there is a team and we are going to be consistent, hey, hey, I will blame people for me not being rich. I will blame all of you guys. I will blame you. But yeah, I've had a really hard time trying to be consistent and trying to do everything all at once because podcasting is time consuming. It's hard and it's expensive. So like all of those three things together for one person as I try and figure out my life, as I also try and get a job or as I try and have a 9 to 5 job. Wow. Jesus is the Lord. But yeah, we have a team. That's the update. We have a team. So I think things will be a lot more seamless and you guys will get the podcast quite consistently on every Thursday. I've said it here. Every Thursday at 8 p.m. Well, we are testing that out now. But every Thursday at 8 p.m., that is when the podcast will be out tomorrow and the weeks after for season 1. And then another update is we're trying as much as we can to be consistent so we can see how good this can get. I think our motto, or like rather my motto this year is I want to see how good it can get if I actually dedicate the time and the energy towards it. Because I do believe that I have something and it's worth investing the time and the energy in real time, whether I get monetary reward or not. I think it will come, but it can only come if I'm focused on it. One of my friends, Henry, is the one that tells me you need to focus on the thing that you know you're supposed to focus on. Build what is yours. You wake up one day and you'll thank yourself. And he's like, I'm telling you this because it took me so long to realize that I have something in my hands that I should have just focused on for long enough. But because I was distracted by the small, like, take this amount of money, take this, take that. Time moves and time goes by. And then you wake up one morning and you realize, dang it, the people that started with me are not in the same level with me. So like this is also for someone that is trying to like ruminate on whether or not they should be doing something. If it feels right to you, do it. If you think God is calling you in that space, answer the call. If you think you saying yes to this particular calling or this particular thing, regardless of what it is going to make a difference in your life and in other people's lives, and it's going to make you accomplish the dreams that you want, go ahead and do it. And I say that because we live in a world where having a 9 to 5 job is the one that crowns you as like a good adult or a better adult or a serious adult. And I hate to break it to you. All the people that are in 9 to 5 sometimes envy the people that are outside because the amount of money, especially in a country like Kenya, the amount of money you make in 9 to 5 and the amount of money you could make outside if you take your craft seriously. Oh, wow. Not to say that people don't make a lot of money in 9 to 5. I just mean there's a lot more luxury you get when you're able to do what you want. You're not in bondage. I personally feel like when I'm in 9 to 5, I'm in bondage. And I don't like the feeling of that. Simply because I also don't like to be put in situations like that. So I don't know. I told my friend something the other day is that I pray that God helps me so that the skills that I have help me pay my bills. Like I'm so skilled at so many things. But then because I don't give myself the opportunity to showcase them and to show people like visibility basically and also just believing and owning them, I'm not making money out of it. I'm good at public speaking, I'm good at writing, I'm good at so many things, but because I always sit down with them or I'm consistently chasing this facade of a 9 to 5 where literally the minimum salary is like 40-50K, and then some people you literally get taxed, so at the end of the day you're left with almost nothing. That is such a difficult life to live in the 21st century. And even worse, 2026. Like, I really hope, and obviously parents are not going to listen to this podcast, but I think if you have a child, and if you're like maybe in your 20s and you have a child, if you have a child and or in your 30s, whichever age you're in, if you listen to this part or you get to this part, please know that there's no one way to live life. And you can never predict how a person's life is going to go because you're not God. And that's okay. We all need to be comfortable with the fact that people evolve and people change, regardless of how you've painted them in your head. They will definitely change. And change is good. And change is okay. And it's fine. Like, it's okay. Oh no, man. I don't know why I went on a full rant about that. Maybe because I feel so passionate about it. I don't like it when death is such a close yet so far thing. And I think we always take for granted that we don't have that much time. Like, you don't. No one knows when I'm going to leave this place. So the least I could do is actually try and put out everything that I need to put out when I'm supposed to be putting it out, and trust that God is not blind, that God has a plan, good plans, a plan for prosperity, a plan that will bring me joy, a plan that will not make me like close to running mad as I'm trying to count all my pennies to make ends meet. God is not a God that wants you to live a life that is subpar. God is a good God, and God is a God that actually champions every single contribution that a person makes when you do it in alignment with Him, in accordance to His will. And sometimes the will that God has for you is not in alignment with what people have for you and what you have for yourself. And it's good for you to recognize that early so you don't kill yourself struggling to do something that you know you're not supposed to be doing. Don't do that. It's 2026. Anyway, another update is the last one actually. Episodes will be out weekly, so just turn your post notification, engage, blah 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 blah, whatever it is those YouTube people say. Just do that, okay? I'm trying to make money. This is literally the only way that you like. If I'm poor, just know it's because of you. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, what a question for you guys. Now that I've said what we're gonna do, obviously I think there's probably more stuff that I have to sit and think about, and we have to like discuss as a team and stuff. What do you, as the audience, think we should incorporate to add to your experience in the podcast and to add to your life? Before we wrap this up, last question: if I could give one piece of advice to my younger self about fear of success, what would it be? This is a hard one. I would tell her that one day you'll not feel like a failure, or you'll not be a failure. And when that day comes, I hope you believe that you were never one. You are just in the wrong system with the wrong people. And you can trust the person that you are enough to take a step forward. Wow, that was so healing. And I promise you guys, I didn't write that down. Sending hugs to my younger self. She went through a lot, shame. But yeah, we have a cute segment, and this segment is called Come On Now. And that is, what is one unnecessary thing we say, do, or see that should not exist when it comes to fear of success? That you must suffer for success. Like, suffering for success has been such a normalized thing that I don't think we're aware of. And I don't mean like you should not go through hard times and hard seasons. I just mean there's the glorification of, when I was younger, I used to do this, and then I did this, and then I climbed the mountain, and then I worked. Like, and I think this is why I say, when you partner with God in your life and you believe that everything that you're supposed to do will be done in accordance with God's will, there is a sense of rest that you get. And if you're able to like believe wholeheartedly that God sees and God knows and God is the ultimate provider, it becomes a lot easier. You may not get everything all at once. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we're struggling to do in this day and age, and especially in my age group. But at some point, it will come full circle and everything you want will be with you. And that's probably one of the reasons why I say I don't like my life now, because I'm not getting everything I want all at once. I'm getting some things, right? Intellectually, I'm getting things. I'm getting the things that I want. Monetarily, hmm. Cha-ching, 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 ching, 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 cha-ching. Yeah, I pray for just rands and dollars for us, Shim. But even if you don't get rands and dollars, just know that you're so much more than rands and dollars, because I think the world tries to categorize us, yeah, as the S's are really messing me up. Categorize us as like based off of our net worth and all of that stuff. That's why questions like, what's your net worth, are such a big deal when you're talking to billionaires and stuff. But I hope we take ourselves out of the shackles of suffering for success. And that's why I think my kids are going to be Nepo babies. I don't give a damn. Why should you struggle when you can create a system so that people don't essentially have to struggle? Like one of the African things that I don't get is making someone suffer for something that they should not suffer for. The world is already a lot difficult. So why should you make my life a lot more difficult than it is? I have my own portions where God has said, you must a little bit suffer for this. In the same way Job suffered for what he suffered for. So God has things that it's like hurdles. God has things you have to jump through for you to get to the finish line. So imagine on top of the hurdles God has put, someone comes and puts a lot more small, 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 small in between God's hurdle. Small, 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 small in between God's hurdle. As how? Let's be guided. Let's be serious. But yeah, last segment is Song of the Week. And the song I have been enjoying. Actually, no, never mind. I'll say what my stats say. Spotify has this thing where it shows you your top song. My top song is by Sampha called Cumulus/Memory. And it is such a cool song. So cool. So cool. If you like neo soul, neo R&B, yeah, you should jump on that one. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the Itra podcast. To everyone listening, if this is your first episode, thank you for joining us. If this episode resonated with you, if you struggled to stay productive in 2025, reflect on your personal growth, and are figuring out how to level up in 2026, drop a comment below and let us know where you're listening from and how this episode felt to you. If it felt like something that you can take into the year and think more deeply about, that's great. If you actually followed us from this episode, thank you so much. You're such a star. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. All of us are here together. And the reason why I speak about these things openly and vulnerably, I don't know if that's a word, is because I don't want people to ever sit and think that we are good, like we are fine. Because I think how I present myself to the world and how I present myself in social media is that people think I have it all together, but no one does. No one ever will. Only God has it all together because he's holding on to everything. I think there's a song we used to sing in school. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Heavenly Father, you are wonderful. You are marvelous. You are excellent. If this episode made you think, brought you comfort, or helped you feel seen, follow us, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. If you want to stay connected with a community that is growing, healing, and leading with intention, make sure to follow the podcast and join us on Instagram at the It Tribe. Until next time, be kind to yourself and keep choosing growth. Bye.